Welcome to The Growth Show with Matt Lenzie, where we discuss growth strategies both for business and a personal perspective, discussing all kinds of businesses, growth strategies, technology, investment strategy, and much more. We are meeting with entrepreneurs, investors, app developers, and property developers. Our vision is to help 10,000 business owners grow their businesses. Introducing our host, Matt Lenzie. Matt is a former banker and corporate financier. He now spends his time building his own companies organically and through acquisition, as well as raising capital for other businesses. Matt works with a wide variety of entrepreneurs and investors.
Welcome to The Growth Show. Today we have Uzzi Raffi, and Uzzi's a person that I've known for a period of time. We're both members of a business incubator and accelerator at Hertfordshire University. So welcome to the show, Uzzi. How are you today?
Thanks, Matt. First of all, very well. Thanks for taking time to get on the Growth Show, and it's exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Well, we hope so. So hopefully we'll have an interesting chat talking about your journey. And I think that from my perspective, part of the reason that I wanted to get you on, I previously had a guy that I know called John Abrahams on, who was a product developer. And I really liked that journey that product developers have to go through in terms of identifying a target market for their product and further, actually before that, identifying a potential product and identifying issues that a potential product will potentially solve. So yeah, I'm really interested to learn a bit about more about you and your journey. Obviously we speak every 2 weeks as part of our what I describe as our business therapy group, and I think, it'd be interesting to learn more about your journey, and hopefully, the driver behind the Growth Show is to inspire other people to potentially, if they've got ideas about setting up a business or they want to go and do something for themselves, the idea is to show them the kind of journey that you have to go through. And it's not all gravy, it's not all easy. There's some difficult elements in there, but the idea is to show that it can be done. And yeah, I've watched your business grow over the last couple of years, and I'm really impressed with the resilience that you've shown, because I know you've had some tough bits along the journey, but more than that is the structure that you've implemented to the way that you approach the growth. And we had a session a few months ago where you shared this diagram that you put together of the rollout strategy, and it was down to the hour almost. It was incredible, the detail that you went into. So yeah, so first things first, I think it would be really helpful for myself and our listeners if you could give us a bit of narrative about yourself, your background, and your journey up to the start of GeoSmart Pro. That'd be great. Over to you.
Of course. Thanks, Matt. So yes, it's a lot of things where to start, basically, when you ask where everything started. And I always say the innovation, the product development, everything comes later, but what are you trying to solve? That's what it is. And that's the problem you're trying to solve. Otherwise, whatever we do, it becomes a trophy on the shelf. Basically, it's nice and shiny. But if it's solving a problem, then you are engaging into a wider audience, and there is something for a greater good. So product development, I personally never find it easy, but I find it very exciting. It is a journey which I will say, if you or anyone wants to do it, exciting stuff, but be ready for the roller coaster journey, because nothing comes right at the first time. So everything started basically with we expecting a little one. And when the little one was born, my wife and I, being first-time parents, I can tell you it's challenging, but it's enjoyable as well. So no pressure on that.
Yeah, well, and for my listeners that don't know, I've got a little one on the way in 6 weeks. So yeah, a whole new chapter of my life is about to start.
You love it. You love it. So when he was born during the heat wave, and the challenge we were facing was a lot of feedback from our advisors, from your parents, from midwives, that keep optimum temperature, make sure the windows are open so the ventilation is going. So you don't know when it's hot or cold and what's the best temperature for the little one. And if he cries, my little one, my wife will kick me out and say, look, can you turn on the fan? Turn off the fan. Oh my God, my nights were just gone by just doing this business. And we wished, is there a fan, or we can just, set it as a gauge and it just turns on and turn off itself. There was nothing. We end up buying an expensive, tower fan, which would cost us around 80 or 90 pounds. Before that, we had a small fan anyway, which was doing its job, but no pleasure with that. It was pretty much the same journey, and we had similar challenges, and that was the problem. So we said, why is it? And my background, which relates to, is I have experience with enterprises, young startups, small, medium-sized companies, and I have been into innovation from the very first day. So it gives us a little bit of understanding on the growth, smart home, connected environment. And also my degree is computer science and engineering based, so which gives me a more detailed understanding how everything works. So
sure.
Taking that key and seeing the problem, adding two together, was a journey we wanted to see and take it. With anything, it's a light bulb moment. If you believe in it, that's where it starts. And you need to take a leap of faith in order to step in stone and say, yes, I will solve this problem. And how is the question, and when is the other, how, when, and where, all are the key questions where we start from. So fast forward, we took that, it's a family-owned business. So my wife joined, my brother joined, and then we said, all right, we believe in the product. We believe this is the innovation. We started sketching what needs to be done and how it should look like. And as we were solving a problem, which we were thinking like parents like us are facing the same problem, parents out there are facing the same challenge. How can we solve it? We also found many other people, i.e., I give a best example for my grandparents. They have arthritis, so they are not able to switch off the lights or operate easily. So we have sensor switches at our house, certain places, to make life easier. Design the model, saying why a fan should have, let's say, all ugly knob, which you need to press it and turn on and off the fans. Make it more appealing and innovative. So when we brought or introduced the fan, GeoSmart fan, which was our UK's first smart fan in 2009 later on, was exciting to see the engagement from customers, from reviewers, from retailers, that it was accepted and very well, we received very well feedback. We also won Quiet Mark Award, being one of the quietest fan in the market, which was brilliant. During the process, a lot of reviews from tech reviews or lifestyle magazines. We were featured Metro, Evening Standard, and many more titles, I would say. That was inspiration, because that gives us a complete success of the product where we were heading towards. And also, the vision has been to globally, launch the product and solve the problems and challenges through a smart home or connected devices. Currently, connected devices are kind of moving fast in the market, and the market share is increasing rapidly, because now I always give a suggestion that if you're using the mobile, the day you bought the smart mobile, you entered smart connected app and smart home, I would say. The best thing is if you're already banking on your mobile, these products becomes a lifestyle. So everything now works with Google, Alexa, and anyone who is buying a product associated with Google, they already have a Google or they are stepping into Smart Journey. And yeah, that's the key, that how we started. When pandemic hit us, which I believe for many companies has been challenging. The good thing about, and respect to all the smart, all the young companies or startups, where they can shell themselves very quickly and look for the future, where they have to head. So we did the same thing. We kind of went into a little bit shelling position where we can resist the pandemic. But the good news for us was, despite the pandemic, we grew. We grew over the regions from UK, the European regions. We announced our second product, which is Airlit. Again, the idea came through because the team member was using desk fan, a ring light, and ladies were using a mirror to do the cosmetics. And now, since we all are in the Zoom and team kind of environment, everyone is doing live streaming, we all are actually conscious of our appearance. I normally would look scruffy, but since we start seeing ourselves more and more, it made sense to merge this product in one solution. So why have 3 different products? And you know, a messy table as well. So we thought, going to the drawing board and how we can make it a smarter solution. So now we have an ultimate solution which you can use it for vlogging, TikTok, Instagram, and working from home, basically. So that was the journey for our second product, which picked up very well. We recently announced and we launched in the US now. So where we started and where we are heading, I think the key is, I would say, consistent, and you have to be well organized and plan. With the startup and young companies, you know, it's a roller coaster journey. Up and down will happen, but as long we keep our vision to a point, as long you have strategy and planning, and key members are driving the focus, then we will get there. You know, it's I can't say how to be successful or what millionaire looks like. What it is learn from the mistake, which makes you more successful. And there's no harm doing mistakes, because if you don't do mistakes, then you don't evolve. So, and that is a success, being honest to you. If you can learn and grow, then you're in the right direction.
Absolutely. No, so thank you. That's a really, really interesting insight. So, yeah, so you've gone through this journey. I like the fact that it was a kind of problem that you identified based upon a kind of real world situation, and one that I'm sure many parents have faced, particularly with, you know, the first child, when there's going to be lots of nervousness around getting the temperature right and all that kind of stuff. Probably by the second kid, you know, you yeah, focus on these things a little bit less, but for the first one, that's always going to be a kind of a key focus. And obviously that second product, as you know, I've purchased one of these, so I'll disclose that, is the, I like that kind of interaction with, you know, the social media, but it's also a desk fan and it also has a light on it and so on and so forth. And I mentioned before we started that I can see the reflection of yours in your glasses. So you're using this product live, and yeah, you know, it gives you a nice clean look on screen, doesn't it? It's kind of, that's the idea.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are heading.
Yeah, no, it's good. So in terms of that kind of, how the hell do you take a product from, you know, I've got this idea of, you know, maybe building something. What's the journey that you went through in terms of identifying I've got this idea to making it, into a prototype. And what's that journey like? And is that something you've been through before?
So this is not my first business.
Okay.
This is a second venture we started. The first I started was called a company TUS Touch, which was interactive table, a long time before. And quickly I realized that, and it was again the same thing, developing the product, innovating the product and getting it to the market. That business sold off because I would say young challenges, young entrepreneur, and quickly I realized that I may need more experience or my team may need more experience. It was a group of friends we started when we finished our graduation, and we said, hey, let's do this.
Sure.
And that drive has been always there with me, that if you believe in your idea and if there is an opportunity, don't hesitate it, take a leap of faith and move on with it. Otherwise, it's just, I wish I would have done it.
Sure.
So don't regret, just do it. And in the right time, if you feel that it's not going as according to it should, then also no harm in, learning more and looking into different things. So the product is how it starts everything, a concept of product, whichever product you take, whether you're taking an electronic product or whether any idea, even you're building a car or anything, it's about, I always say that it's what are you solving? Look at the problem you're solving, right? And then start going from, drawing board from what it looks like, what features it should have. There will be a variations that one would do. It could be from what you understood, what you start designing. The key element would be a market research, i.e., get out there and ask as many people you can, or have a strategy that what product can deliver to your audience, who are the users, because during that journey, the product starts shaping and evolving. And then it goes into the phase of what it should have, what it should not have, because what we may think is great, it may be over sophisticated for the customers, and always keep the product simple and stupid, easy to use, easy to engage, if it's catered for those audience. So from seeding an idea, from going on the drawing board, from getting into manufacturing, molding and everything, it's a complete journey. And then seeing the end result, I always say the first prototype is never the exact prototype you want, because after seeing, you may evolve a little bit and see what else features are required and needed. We enhance our product. And during the product development, you always think of what is the next generation looks like, because you don't want to overcomplicate the product. As you launch the first model, you learn from it and see what are the features and benefits required by customers and what else they need during that journey. So that becomes your kind of overview of the launch, that where we are heading from, where you're heading to, and also it's a product life cycle, how long the product will be on the shelf and what next gen or third gens will look like. So we always look into those things, starting from the product. And the first product is the key. Once it's successful, you start evolving better and better and better for the second and third product and next generations. So that's kind of an overview of how the product life cycle starts, and a person from the thinking point of view start, and getting the team together that who will work with you from product design to engineering to software designing, marketing, and the sales. I was lucky at that sense because we had key members within the team who have or had that experience in the industry. So it kind of kicked good start for us, which went into a right direction, and successfully we kind of evolve as we are going in the future.
Okay, interesting. And you're obviously on a journey in terms of both the original product and the second product, which has joined your stable. How many products do you think you'll have? What's the kind of the game plan on that side of things?
So we are improving our range constantly. So we are behind the screens. We are always innovating and evolving, thinking what is next. And I always, with the team, we will be like, all right, we got the second product, which is great and it's working well. How we can go for third product. So I don't want to give away too much, but there will be a third product we are working on.
Sure.
Connected, because all our product will be within the smart home connected environment. I would say wait and see. Quite exciting stuff on the third product. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And obviously what you're effectively doing is connecting traditional technology via smart applications, which on the face of it sounds relatively easy to do, but I should imagine it's pretty complicated. How did you kind of identify what you can do and what you can't do? Because obviously some of what you're doing is groundbreaking, right? Because it hasn't been done before. So how do you know how far you can push the technology?
I believe it's a learning stage for us as well, because there are a lot of things within the product. Simplifying was the key for us. A smart home is already evolving pretty quick. So today we are controlling products through our app or voice command. Tomorrow, it's AI understanding how the generation is evolving as well. So I'll share a little story with you because it's always inspiring for me. My grandparent wasn't great in a smart home and connected and all these things. For him is give me a remote, I'll turn on the TV and press 1, 2, and 3 and change the channel. Since we have taught him about being smart TV and Netflix and YouTube and everything, I think he's the best person at the moment to operate everything, being honest to you. So it's about learning the new technology, and the generation has shifted from what it used to be before. Now everything is on the app. You do calling from emails through anything, banking, and it's going in the way where it's connected appliances. So you can, before Matt comes to home, you can turn on the fan and it does everything what you want it to do. The next phase is slightly bit different. So what we want to do is bring an ecosystem where all the connected appliances are talking to each other and they are working according to your lifestyle. So i.e., you come home at certain time, certain appliances work according to what you wish to, lights turn on. You are feeling hot, the fan turns on. You want something to be done. So, and those products will evolve and develop as the time comes. So innovation will push its boundaries because there is no longer boundary of challenge, i.e. that you cannot develop a certain concept or innovate a product. Reason why, because today we are integrating a lot of complex products or innovation together to simplify a problem, right? So yeah, that's where the company is heading with the vision of having a complete ecosystem for smart home appliances, which actually ease off or enhance the user's lifestyle. So i.e., we can spend more time with our family, do an exercise, do different things. Why do we have to do certain tasks, which can be done through connected appliances?
Cool. Yeah, it's really interesting, the kind of the whole the development of this technology and how it can be implemented. Because there's lots of, we've seen these smart fridges that automatically order you replacement food, and I think we're going to, as time evolves, we're going to gradually see these kind of become integrated into our lives. So yeah, it's a really, really, really interesting space from my perspective. And from a financial perspective, I'm assuming that, yeah, basically building a prototype and taking something through the development process. Obviously, my background, as you know, is raising capital for early stage companies. So, you know, we used to see lots of these similar ideas and pitch decks. What was that journey like? Had you raised money before, and how did you go about finding investors for your project? And yeah, if you could run through that journey a bit, that'd be really helpful as well.
Of course. So I would say idea is where it all starts from, and then it's also a team who is behind the product and what kind of expertise they engage to get it to the market. So there are two key elements for us. Do we have a right product, and is there a demand? And also, do we have a right team in order to drive and deliver what we have to deliver? So we ticked those boxes, which was great for us. Raising of funding was my first time. We had to engage with early investors from family members, friends, angel investors, I would say, which was great to see, and also pitch them, what are we solving, where we are heading, and what are we delivering, and what's the market size. So definitely I can say it wasn't the easiest journey, because there's a lot of convincing and a lot of due diligence, and especially when it's only a concept where you don't have product out in the market. It becomes far more effective and efficient when the product is already running and you have it at various regions. The story is more compelling. But it's more about at the very early stages about how confident are you, I would say, and how confident is the team and the product is worthy of investment. So we raised very small capital, I would say, at the starting, which was around 50K.
Okay.
When we started the first product, we had our investment. We all founders and co-founders invest in it, and then we topped up with what I would say match funding with the angel investors, which got us to where we are from the first point, and get the product to the market, get the preparation, get the stock into the market, and start marketing and funding. So yeah, that's in short the journey was from where we started. Okay,
and in terms of so you kind of answered one of the questions that arose during that kind of thought process, which was regarding at what point did you raise the money? So you obviously raised the money very early on when you didn't have kind of a formal product to take to market at that time. So so that those investors, they were it's quite at a really risky stage in the development cycle, right?
Correct. Yes. So when they started, that was for any investor, I think, and now learning from the experience, it is a high risk, but it's also a very calculated risk, because one, you're not only investing in the product because you believe in the product, actually you're investing at that time in the team who are going to be driving that. So I think it's a mix of both, from the size of where the innovation was heading, and cleverly, lucky for us, there was nothing like that in the market. So it was a unique opportunity for the investors to come on board at that early stage, so we can actually launch the product. So we had a whole roadmap and the plan, what we have to do, how we need to develop, where we need to be, and they're very happy, because from where they invested and where we are globally at the moment is quite exciting journey for everyone.
Absolutely. And I guess the challenge with raising capital at that point in the life cycle of a company and an idea is clearly you're going to have to give a bit more away. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody who's launching something similar?
Yes. So there's always reward and risk for everything. At the early stage, depending on what been launched, what you're working on, what the idea is, and what the market size is. I would say always try to take a faith and have a leap of faith and work and make it tangible and have your pitch, have your strategy solid. Try not to give away too much because you don't know what's down the line. Because early stage, we're very excited because of the idea. You believe in yourself. You're so passionate about it that all you can see, you want to deliver. And there are a lot of elements around it you may ignore. So take a seat back and really think and vision where you want to head to and what is the end goal strategy? Where are we heading it? And then start evolving and look into shares and depending on what size of the investor you're engaging with and if they are angel investors. So it really is great, but also seeing who is coming on board. So when we did the round, we knew what kind of experience we were carrying. We needed investment as a cash rather than more experience on board. So it's kind of evolving and seeing yourself as well, that what is working best for you. So if you're doing something and you don't have experience in some other fields and you need someone on board, then of course the investor may ask more. And rightly said, because you're completing your kind of strategy by having a piece within it to make it stronger. Yeah, it's only a founder of the company or people who are raising investment, they can decide on their half because they would know what's the strength and the weak point of the company.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%. Okay, and in terms of the process that you go through, you know, you've got one, you know, a prototype, you refine that so that you're comfortable that the thing's gonna be a bestseller. How do you take something like that to market? Because, you know, you don't have a brand or an identity that anybody is aware of. So there's that kind of brand awareness element. So introducing this you know, business to people, and then also there's the product that sits alongside that. So what was your kind of initial rollout strategy? And then a follow-on question to that. I know from our previous conversations that you've gone down the route of not being too reliant on one distribution channel. How did you reach that as a conclusion, and what advice would you give to somebody on that side of things as well?
So the first question, if I'm right to understand, is how did we got the brand actually into the market?
Yeah.
And the second part is how did the distribution started and many other distributors. So the brand creation is, I think, is the most difficult part, because when nobody knows about you, you're not even on the map, then how do you even start? So I would suggest and advise if you're going into the retail industry or you're doing any kind of business, in order to create an attraction, see what is your USP, see or where can you head towards and what is that attraction point. So when we started, our key feature or the benefit for GeoSmart Pro was we had a fan, which is a UK's first smart pedestal fan, and nothing existed around that time. So it was engaging for us to get into the market and start pitching to retailers or distributors and see where we can head towards. And we knew there was a gap in the market. So the size of market was great for us. We started, like anything, sell on your platform wherever you can sell, i.e. Amazon, key platform, test your product, and which went absolutely great. From there, it was an engagement on to the wider audience, wider retailers, major retailers. So as soon you have a proof of concept, as soon you have the right engagement in the audience and the market, I think the key to success will be opening more doors and making sure it's being placed at a different channels. Brand will come slowly and gradually, because GeoSmart Pro is taking its time to build, and it's building because we have a unique proposition, which is our product line. So, and quickly it evolves according to that. So that leads to distribution channels. So we are best in what we do. We can create the products, we can innovate the product, but in order to open new markets, you need to have different distributors who understand the local market, who can support you kind of getting into the right market execution. So really it's a kind of an engagement and a partnership and a marriage between a manufacturer, a distributor, and a retailer together, because they understand your product and hence they're listing and doing great stuff. You understand your manufacturing capabilities, you understand your USPs and the features and benefits you're delivering, and how you can enhance that into a region. And a key part in that place is the marketing, creating a lot of noise where people can actually see what you're doing. Otherwise, you may have an amazing and great product, but if it's not being tested or it's not out there tested by experts, then there's always a gap between how you can create a brand and a brand awareness and how the product will presume or being tested in the market. So let your baby or product you have created go and do exciting stuff, but also help everyone in that journey to make a success stories. And that is the key. Once you start seeing that, everything will fall into its places as you grow, because you continuously invest into it, you continuously see the pain points and solve the problems and issues. So I believe there's a lot of work between that, but saying that it's a journey which will take slightly bit longer time for anyone when you're creating a brand, unless and until you have partnered with huge companies.
Yeah, of course. So that's always a potential, either an exit or potential way of accelerating what you're doing. Is that something that you would consider? If, I don't know, some technology company came and said, yeah, we love your products. A, can we buy you? Or B, can we JV with you in some way? Is that yeah? What's the roadmap for the exit? I suppose that's always the interesting question, right?
Yeah. So that's exactly what you said. We are open, and with the right time, we will see what partnership is on the table, or whether we are, bought by other companies. Still, we are heading towards. We do get here and there offers and requests to explore. I'm biting my tongue on that, but it's always wait and explore, see, get the vision correct, and get to a stage that it's also growing phases, that what you would sell your company at now maybe equal 10 times or 50 times more in few years. But it's a sweet spot finding between the right partnership or engagement, I would say.
Absolutely, I agree. And in terms of some of the mistakes that you might have made, what's the biggest one, and what did you learn from that?
So I always say you will make a lot of mistakes, and I may think the biggest mistake I did it yesterday or 3 months before, or it's always challenging to think and say, oh, I did one mistake. I would always advise that any mistake, regardless, whoever is doing it, learn from it. There's no small or a big mistake, because during the journey you will do schoolboy errors, but you may think, oh my God, I know about it. Why did not I anticipate it? So the best way is the learning from whatever mistake it is, because just don't do it again. That's the key.
And then on the flip side of that, what do you perceive as your biggest success to date?
Success is getting GeoSmart Pro globally. That's what we have been always visioned and worked towards. So I thank to, big thanks to all the team members and the investors and the people who are a part of this journey, advising on board, and there are many other members indirectly and directly connected with us, and really seeing the journey where it's going. So without their support, without their help, without everyone involved in it, it couldn't be more successful, being honest with you. I think the vision may have started with a small team, but during its journey, there are a lot of key members have kind of connected and are supporting the team to get to where we want to. And this is one of the key advice I can give it to entrepreneur or a startup business. Seek support. There's no harm in asking. Go and learn as much you can. Network as much you can, because you don't know who you're speaking to you, or how they can help you, and how you can help them. So it's vice versa. So yeah, I think network is the key, and go on from there then.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I think it's really important in terms of, yeah, in many different ways. And I think one of the things we were talking about in our last business therapy session was around the kind of benefits of having a mentor and someone that can kind of provide you with strategic guidance in terms of what your plans are and so on and so forth. And I've personally found that to be really helpful in terms of some of the things that I'm involved with. Did you take a mentor on? What's your,
yes.
Yeah.
We took a mentor on, and it was the amazing gentleman. We got it from financial side to support our financial capacity and capabilities. Also, we had a mentor for a short term on the marketing side, which was great as well. Any of these schemes comes through, I would always explore whether it's whatever areas it is, whether it's legal, finance, marketing, because they are very experienced. They know industrial connections. What we can't see, probably they can point us, because currently, one will be overloaded with a lot of ideas, a lot of things day to day. Sometimes you just miss certain points, and they become very key, I think, asset to the business, to evolve and direct you as well if you're missing something.
Absolutely. And in terms of your, from a personal perspective, when the chips are down and things are feeling hard, how do you stay motivated, and what inspires you?
There's always those moments where you feel at your lowest. Everyone does it differently.
Of course,
some people are very self-motivated. Some people don't talk, and some people love talking, getting out of their chest, and there you go, the magic happens and they're moving on. So what I tend to do is, I've learned it the hard way, because it's a very hard journey to start the startup and and continuously evolve. I try to relax in a way, meditate, or go for a walk. I like long walks in the park, or just go in the quietest place possible, which kinds of disconnects me from the situation, what's happening. If I can do that, that helps me to actually think logically, and also get back to the vision, what we are at, and always there's a solution to every problem. If there is a problem, there is a solution. So focus on the solution rather than you are in the problem. If you think too much of the problem, then you can't come out of your bubble. So yeah, that's what works for me. Yeah, to just focus my energy to the point how we can move ahead from that.
Okay, and in terms of the kind of future, what the future holds, obviously you'll continue to grow the company and go forwards from there. Yeah, do you have, if you were to exit, what would be is an exit the plan, or are you continuing? What's your thought process? Do you want to stay with this for the next 10 years?
Exit is the plan. So it's in next 5 years what happens. So we want to create that vision come true of an ecosystem, having different products within the pipeline, replenishment system within online, and a lot of different ideas around that. And then we're already seeing a lot of attraction at the moment at this early stage. So it's best to say, to see, joint venture with the company, or see what comes in down the line, because we are seeing for the right moment, basically, rather than rushing into it. So currently, in next 2-3 years, I don't see anything, unless something significantly changed. Who knows? Because time tells us. Sure. But yeah, exit plan will be partnering with someone, or somebody then buying us out probably in future.
Okay. And in terms of your approach, I know that you mentioned, meditating and taking time out. Obviously, you've got a young family as well. How do you kind of balance that and, keep discipline in terms of exercise and all that stuff as well? Because, you've obviously got a lot going on. So how do you maintain focus on those different aspects?
So on that point, I will say, if anyone haven't read this book, read this book. It does organize. It's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay. By Stephen Covey, I believe. Really good. It does give you a lot of exercise. It does kind of groom you in the right direction. And it's all about organization. When you have a little one, you can do multitasking. How you do it, don't even ask me, but you just have abilities. You start doing a lot of things being a parent. Organizing and timekeeping is the key, which I would definitely heads off to my wife. She's very, very organized in that way. She helps me as well to get things structured in timely manner. So everything has its routine. So you get into the routine and you exactly know what to do. One thing helps me personally, I have a daily calendar, which I fill it, and I know exactly from what point I'm starting the day, 7:30, and when I'm finishing. If I'm finishing at 6 o'clock and I still have to do, after 6 o'clock, I try my best to switch off from work life, I would say, and really give that time to family, spend quality time with your little one, and also then adjust around it. You need to have half an hour for yourself in the day. So it could be during your working hours, just disconnect on your break and do whatever you need, or during the day later on, but try to ensure that 30 minutes is just for yourself. And it does help you a lot.
Very good. Interesting advice there. And I think, some that I'll definitely take on board. I've read the Stephen Covey book that you referenced, but I should probably read it again. So maybe I'll pick that.
You get into our old habits then.
No, exactly. And in terms of, you mentioned that as a book, do you have a film that you watch to motivate yourself as well? Is there anything that stands out on that front?
Oh, I like the startup stories, being honest to you. Facebook movie was really good, I would say, how everything started and inspiring. Currently, I'm far behind movies, I would say. Because of little one. Sure. And the family timing. But yeah, any business or startup movie does, give you a little bit of kind of engagement. It relates to your life as well, and you can see you're not only the person alone. Everyone's journey has started from somewhere, whether it's Amazon and Apple, or you can take any successful company. There are hard times and the right times.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Cool. Well, from my perspective, that's really what I wanted to talk to you about. It's been really interesting, and as you know, I bought one of your desk fans, so I use that fairly frequently, and it's a really, really good product. So I'd strongly recommend other people go and buy one. And the kind of I'll leave it over to you for closing comments, and also for where we can find you, websites and Twitter domains and all that kind of stuff.
Of course. Thanks, Matt, again for everything and taking time. It's again, I say it's an exciting journey. Whatever you're doing, however you're doing, just think of your vision, think of the idea. Don't hesitate. Take a leap of faith. Move on with it. Don't be scared of failures because it only makes you stronger. And if you want GeoSmart products, we are widely available everywhere. So it's available in Currys, Homebase, Robert Dice. You're in Germany, Media Market, Best Buy. So just type and pick your best retailer.
Good. And your website is?
So geosmartpro.com.
Okay. Awesome. Well, it's been really interesting, and I've learned a lot about you as a person and also your journey. And yeah, as you know, I'll be sitting in the wings watching what products you come up with next. It's an exciting journey to watch.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks again for everything.
Pleasure. Nice to chat. Cheers, Uzzi.
Thanks. Take care of yourself.
Thanks for listening to The Growth Show with Matt Lenzie. Please like our podcast and subscribe today.